My post today, ever notice that the egos out there have to keep commenting on your comment? I commented on a post this morning and someone commented. She gave me an explanation of how she felt about the subject and I replied, "Suit yourself." The comment wasn't even directed at her, but for some reason she felt she should include herself in the conversation, which is one of the things I complain about with social media. It's a free-for-all and anyone can comment on what you say. She commented again. I didn't respond. So she commented again, and again. I blocked her. I have no need to prove what I say as being correct. This person may have been spoiling for an argument by opposing me. Okay, suit yourself. It's your life. I wouldn't give her the gratification. Which is another thing I learned when I was in the 12 steps. They say, give up the need to be right. I have. I channel a lot of my posts and trust Ivo and Athena to give me the words to express. When you give up the need to be right, this need can then be replaced with a plethora of other needs that suit you better, and help all those on earth, such as practicing your need to spread love, practicing your need to spread the truth, practicing your need to nurture others, practicing your need to master yourself, practicing your need to remain peaceful, practicing your need to help others. Again, wait until it's asked for. And there are more. These are the few that have come to mind right now. What is your need when you interact with others? Me, Ivo, can you comment on this post please? I think this would make a good video. To remind people that they have to get their ego under control if they want to hear their higher self, and that there is more to discussing matters with other people than the perverse enjoyment of trying to dominate them, which is what the need to be right is. It's the need to own everyone you speak to and be better than they are. Ivo, my love, we have discussed this in other videos, I believe, this issue of arrogance and practicing the power over others structure. There are many objectives to strive towards in conversation with others rather than the need to dominate them or to be right. You have suggested some examples and we can discuss these as well as add more into the mix. Me, great. Ivo, practicing your need to spread love. This is a worthwhile endeavor. People are not always receptive and others are in it to take advantage, but overlooking these problems, being loving towards others is a wonderful way to use your energy. Energy, in fact, should flow outwards towards others, not inwards towards yourself. Also, when you are in conversation and maintain a stance of lovingness even towards those who are not reciprocal, it still benefits you as well as the world in general. Practicing your need to spread the truth. This is a highly advantageous position in your world today. If you are one who understands the truth of your common dilemma, then you are indeed blessed, and frankly you are also obligated to tell others as well. You were given this information so that you would share it, as is the fourth dimensional stance for the human, to share with others, not to continue to hold on to this knowledge for yourself, as this is a third dimensional standpoint. Nurturing and helping others are closely related, so we will speak of them in one point. In fact, this falls under loving others, and yes, you must ask first if the help is desired, otherwise you run afoul of their free will, and fall into the power over others structure again. Giving another the knowledge, love, or the energy to move ahead in their own life's process is indeed a benevolent practice. We shall also discuss practicing the need to master oneself, as well as mastering the need to remain peaceful under all circumstances in one point. I will explain that your power is love and love functions best while you are in a higher state. These higher states can only be reached while one is peaceful and tranquil, otherwise the energy drops in vibrational frequency and works against the good of the experiencer and the collective. Peace is the first step to self-mastery. Not reacting to provocation is another healthy step. Maintaining your own sense of self rather than losing energy to another who would think to provoke you, such as your conversation of this morning, my love, indicates that you are in control of your own energy. Of course there will be further testing. Me, of course. What's the next step? Not getting triggered by anyone and reacting to their provocation when they're trying to steal your energy. What's next, Ivo? Ivo, my love, you are in the perfect place. You see chaos around you, and to walk as a peaceful person in a world of flurry and stress, not worried about the trials and tribulations you see being played out around you. Containing your peace despite all evidence that perhaps you too should become unwell, because that is what being unpeaceful leads to, unwellness. Me, I know that. Ivo, and so you would live contrarily to everyone around you. Being able to hold your own mindset when the mindsets of everyone else are on a stressful frequency, being the eye in the middle of the storm, being the calm on a windy day, being at peace with yourself when all around you appears to be falling apart. That is self-mastery at your level. Me, aha. So that's the next step. Ivo, you are headed there. Me, not always. Ivo, I make you aware of when you have fallen short of the mark. Me, I know. LOL. Ivo, imagine the power of the one who walks in peace when all around him are fraught with stress, overwhelmed with negative energy. Me, yup. Ivo, when you have this level of self-control, you are a master and your powers of changing the nature of life will increase. We are now working with you to change the weather, but there will be more challenges ahead for you as you master these lessons of self-control. Yes, so what other practices can one assume for themselves as they rise out of bed in the morning? Perhaps the need to see all as being divine parts of God. Perhaps the need to see all as being one, not separate. Perhaps the need to love those who you might earlier have declared your enemy. Yes, the other day you wished your ex a happy birthday and he was such an enemy of yours. Me, Ivo, I knew him 40 years ago. Ivo, and the impact he had on your love relations was detrimental, to be sure. He sent a message to you that you have fought against for so many years and you realize now that knowing him empowered you. Yes, I hear you calling him a jerk, but he was a good teacher because he taught you to stand in your power. You found him extremely beguiling, attractive and desirable, yet you had to fight off these feelings of attraction because you knew you had to learn to say no and stand up to his abuse for your own sake, and you did it. Me, true. Ivo, this was a man you would have wanted to have in your life longer than was the case and far less casually, but you had to say no to him because he was no good for you and you knew it. Me, true. Ivo, you have always lamented that what you'd hoped he'd be for you was different than who he was for you, because you wanted this man. It took a lot for you to release him, but you did it. You refused his abuse before it became extreme. You do not see these things as we do. We feel you did quite well. It was not so much that he was your sworn enemy, my love, it was because he did not give you the love you wanted from him. He could not love you and this was why you were angry at him. Me, yes. I see that. Ivo, other needs that one can work on. The need to love oneself. The need to maintain self-discipline. The need to set limits with oneself and others where appropriate. The need to assert oneself and to say no when necessary. The need to set one's best interests ahead of all, to honor the self and release those who dishonor you, such as my love did with her man of 40 years ago. Me, he wasn't the only one. Ivo, yes, and you continuously released men who could not and would not love you. It was also pointed out recently to you, that these men had the propensity to become your handler, had you allowed the relationships to continue. In spite of the way you felt you were unlovable, you continued to release these men who could not love you, hence you did understand yourself to be lovable and would settle for nothing less. Do you understand? Me, yes. Ivo, and to all those of the divine feminine and masculine who have released unsuitable partners or suitors, this lesson pertains to you as well. The reason you are releasing them is because you are not believing that you are unlovable, you understand that you very much are. Sharon has, many times, not realized the reason she behaved was out of self-love, and it has been my point to show her that it was there all along. These are all avenues to self-mastery. They can all be practiced daily and in relation to other people. When one experiences failure, then it is simply a question of trying again. When one has power over the self, a world of powers await. Me, thank you, Ivo. Ivo, my love, you are a model of admiration for me and others who see the challenges you have faced and have prevailed through. We applaud your strength and your continuous humility, which encourages others to surmount their challenges but hardly recognizes your own. Me, is that humility or a form of neglect, really, Ivo? I know I do that. Well, maybe another video. He's telling me you don't applaud yourself for things you innately know how to do.